would like, of course, to be available for you to say any questions. But I just want to say again that I wish that we have more men participating in this, because as Winnie says, if we don't get the men and boys in action together with women, it's going to be very hard to move this forward. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. To please close the session for us. Dr. Joe Thomas is the Executive Director of Partners in Population and Development, an intergovernmental organization of 25 developing countries. PPD promotes South-South collaboration to address challenges of population and development and sexual and reproductive rights. Thank you, Dr. Joe Thomas.
Thanks, Colonel, and my apologies. I missed Vinny's first session, but I got a script of what Vinny spoke, and also on the justice I heard half of it. And one of my old colleague and friend. So what I want to just summarize is that the violence, I just put it not as rape issue alone, it's an issue of violence against women. It's a gender-specific violence. And this is not a value-neutral social phenomena. This has got very specific social implication, political implication, economic implication. So we talked about, quite often we look at only the legal implication. So what I want to say is that we may look at this as not just a legal issue. It's much more than that. We talk about the social transformation of the country. If India is talking about social transformation and political transformation, probably we have to taking the half of the population along with us. If we are genuinely concerned about that, concern should spread about taking the entire population along with the society when moving forward. So the violence against women or the gender-specific violence is a symptom of many other social undercurrents. And one is the way the Indian society is organized, and not only Indian society, globally the society is organized. Men comes with extremely privileged social privileges, and sometimes I feel ashamed, sometimes I feel I don't know which way I should look at it. It's a privilege or it's a curse, whichever way it is. So, but that I could say that most of the men, it's a responsibility towards men to take the issue of violence against women for the discussion, for looking at the solution, and also suggesting legal, social, and political implications how to deal with it. In that context, I would consider that Maitri's initiative for taking this issue and keep this issue alive. At least keep on discussing itself is one step towards moving forward. So let me just again go back to my main the points. We know that the political implication we saw notice that even though we talk about in certain situations the violence against women, it gets the media attention, political attention, but not always. And we know that in that kind of a setting, a serious political transformation, political change can occur. And many of the governments, states, societies are not even equipped to deal with that kind of a social phenomenon, which we have seen what happened in Delhi. More or less, it's a spontaneous response towards a kind of feeling, kind of frustration against what nothing is happening about what's happening on a day-to-day violence. So it came out on the street. So political violence, and also we could see that, and probably when the reservation for women in the parliament, unfortunately, when most of the political parties, they had in that particular issue, there is a non-partisan alliance for opposition party and the ruling party. Everybody joined to shoot it down. The representation of women in the parliament. But at the same time, we are noticing that representation of women in the Panchayat Raj and the other political system. But representation, our lesson from that participation, what we're noticing is that just a political participation or getting elected itself is not going to solve the problem. Many of the Panchayats, the chairperson, women chairperson, we know that they themselves is the victims of or survivors of violence. So when you look at the social context, we could see that a range of religious and social obstacles are coming up. And unfortunately, many of our religious leaders took the position that, against the progress of women. But again, if you look at carefully, none of the religion are against women. If you look at most scriptures, provide the provision of status of women at the highest level. We have women goddesses. Some of the most revered goddesses are women goddesses. But at the same time, we also see the dichotomy of how we look at women. So the violence against women is a complex scenario in the context of social transformation. And also we notice that in terms of political and economic consequences. And women are more increasingly part of the productive, financial productive forces of the country. But that contribution is not adequately acknowledged or adequately protected and supported. We know that in the city itself that if women are working, they should be back home at 8 o'clock, but not necessarily that applies to men. So just give an example about economic consequences. In summary, what I want to say is that violence against women is a complex social process. Those who are involved in the issue of social transformation, social change, we should look at this issue much more carefully. And this issue is not only women's issue, it's a men's issue, children's issue, boys' issue. So it's everybody's issue. So we may look at this comprehensively, looking at the solution. And legal issues, we saw that legal issues are an important part of it, but legal issues are not immediate reaction. And probably this is an opportunity to look at comprehensive reflection of how violence is affecting in the social transformation society. But we are a bit disappointed to see that the initial response is slowing down, and the political commitment is not coming forthrightly to look at how we can